everybody, to another episode of the Overcast podcast. I'm Corey,
I'm Wes.
and we are back from quite a long hiatus, but I couldn't have thought of a better guest to return with than Mr. Jay Watson himself. How's it going, Jay? Loud applause here.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
You released a new album a few weeks ago. It's been out for a few weeks now.
Mm.
Blue Gum
Yeah.
Way. Have it
Yeah.
here.
Thank you.
Getting out on
Thanks for
P-Dude
wrecking it.
Records. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just want to ask a little bit of that album. Kind of, what was your mindset when you were writing this album? Because it does seem like an introspective album.
I can't quite remember. It was probably a couple of years ago now. But yeah, I remember I was listening to a lot of a certain sort of music that was kind of like it wasn't like sort of verse, chorus music. It would like stuff that would like it would be an idea and then it would sort of like unravel as the song went along. So there was like this Talk album, Spirit of Eden, and there was a Moon Shaped Pool, Radiohead, and a bunch of stuff by this guy John Martin, and Joni Mitchell album, Hissing of Summer Lawns, I think it's called. But all these things where it was like it would be an idea that would sort of like just expand as the song went on, rather than like part A, part B, part A again, part B again, you know? So I wanted to do something more like that.
Cool. I had read somewhere when, I think it was on Instagram, you did like an Instagram Ask Me something.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you had written that you wanted to limit yourself more when writing this album.
Yeah, there's probably less like double tracking of things all the time. You know, like leaving vocals just soloed. Less effects on the. I mean, there's still loads of effects everywhere, but less effects for the purpose of obscuring the thing. You know, it would only be to like elevate the thing. It wouldn't be to you know, people use reverb or something or delay or whatever to push the sound back into the mix. And I tried not to do that. I tried to like highlight things, and if they weren't important enough to be highlighted, then I would kind of get rid of them, you know.
Yeah.
So even though it's not, I wouldn't say it's stripped back sounding, because we ended up covering it in strings and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Each like part or sound has like a kind of purpose to it. Whereas in the past, I'd sort of just like stack piles and piles of guitars or synths or whatever, you know, trying to fill it out for the sake of, I don't know what, you know.
Yeah, we can all get trapped
The
in
fun of
that.
it, really.
We've gotten caught in that before in the past.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, totally. Yeah.
one thing
It's
I did
hard.
want to mention. So I was playing this album, your new album, this morning after I made breakfast for my son. So
It's kind of a nice morning one, actually.
yeah, no, it really was.
You know,
my
it's
son-
not like chucking on metal when you
Yeah.
first wake up.
My son, he's only about a year old now. He seemed to love the
nice.
album, by the way. I know you're also a new
lovely.
father as well. So
Yeah, lovely.
how have you managed to like go along with like recording and touring and stuff, and also being a new father as well? I'm really curious
Yeah,
about that.
mine aren't even new anymore. They're 6 and 4.
Oh,
They're almost,
okay.
they'll be 7 and 5 soon. Yeah, they'll, oh, it's hard, man. It's hard. It's been really hard at the moment, just like trying to put the album out and do, you know, social media and interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
And film clips and stuff, but also like I just dropped them at school and I forgot like my son's library bag, you know, just it's just
Yeah.
stressful. I'm just like the guy that goes in and I'm just the guy that goes in, that just the useless dad that they're like, where's his stuff? I'm like, oh, I swear I had it, you know. But it's because 5 seconds before school I was like messaging about some music thing. It's really hard, but there's kind of no other way, really. If you want to do something, you've got to work. If you want to do something creative and then you want to, like, you know, have children, it's you kind of just got to, I think everyone, if all adults are busy and stressed, you know what I mean? And everyone with kids finds it hard, and it's just
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel that for sure.
When
Maybe
I
not all adults. I remember at the one stage when my only like concern was, you know, where my next spliff was coming from. You know, how am I going to get enough money to buy a sausage roll? That was sort of my daily concern. But
One
yeah,
one
no.
one thing that we were curious about, Wesley was talking about this earlier, because you have been making music for a while now, whether it was with early Tame Impala stuff, Pond, like you've been around for our
For the
Yeah.
past 15 years, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
and
I've officially reached unk status.
yeah. One thing that we were wondering was how have you noticed the, I guess, just touring life and music industry grow as you have grown throughout the years?
It's definitely it's a little bit like bleaker than it used to be, I think. There's less like music festivals. Um, it's all more expensive for the bands to tour and for the people to come to the shows. It's yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It would be really hard starting a band now. Um, I feel like people said that to us when we started though, compared to the the 90s or whatever. But when we started, there was I don't know, yeah, there were still lots of festivals and stuff, but maybe for the first time ever, bands from Western Australia or something, you could get it was easier to get written about overseas because of the internet, Like if you were a band in Western Australia in the early 80s, so your only chance was getting a written about in like a music magazine or something, and for them to even hear it, I don't know. It was just so it was quite exciting, I think, when we started, because there were like blogs, and MySpace, and we felt like there was if the thing you did was unique or like not unique enough, just if people liked it enough, there was a shot for you to get it out. And it's still like that, even more than ever, but there's just so many people making music. There's maybe less people going to shows. I don't know if that's true, actually. There's definitely less people paying for music than when I started.
Yeah.
Not that I was, I was sitting there on LimeWire or whatever, but
LimeWire, yeah.
but I just mean as like an industry thing. People seem to be buying records more than they did when we started, a lot more, like vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me. I'm so removed from it in a weird way. Like I don't I'm not like savvy enough with social media or all that. Like I don't know. I feel like I don't know what's going on. I feel like an old guy, an old boomer guy that's like, I don't know how that works, like
You're
more
just,
and more.
you're just an unk going through the motions.
I know, and I sort of tried to fight it for a long time and keep up, and I've sort of just given up now, and I'm just I've accepted it now.
Yeah. Funny that you say that, that people are getting more into. It does seem like there has been a resurgence in like physical media and stuff as far as vinyl.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Exhibit A is all the stuff behind us. I can 100% blame you and Pond and Tame Impala for that, because it was a huge part of our lives when we discovered that. And Wesley was into records. He had all the records, and then I started getting them. So I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm glad we put so much care into the way they were presented and sounded, and the artwork and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey of like trying to improve it, all that sort of thing. But that's subjective anyway, So lots of people would probably like the sound of our earlier records, whereas all we just hear like the the bad engineering or whatever on them. But but to some people that's probably more exciting. So yeah, no, I'm glad we cared so much about the way they sounded and the packaging and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny you say that. When we talked to Shiny Joe Ryan,
Oh yeah.
like a few years back now, he was
Yeah.
an earlier episode. We asked him. It was before you released Pond the early years.
Oh yeah.
And so everybody was clamoring for like a psychedelic mango repress and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And he was telling us
That came
that
out really well, that early years thing.
Yeah.
yeah, it did. It really did.
Yeah.
And he was telling us, yeah, he's like, a lot of those songs were us just kind of fucking around. Like, he's like, I don't even know if we are going to repress them. Another thing was that you guys didn't have the stems for those earlier things either for Pond.
Yeah, we had the first two. The third album was put onto vinyl, and we had a CD. We had CDs of all of them. Um, so you can't really master like a mastered CD, but the first two luckily weren't even mastered. They were like WAVs that we took from the 8-track or whatever that we used to. That was like a digital 8-track. And took straight to like the CD pressing plant. There was one on our street at the end of our street, which is crazy,
That's cool.
like a CD making place.
Nice.
So that was actually really handy for making that compilation of all the early music, because like more than half of it was never even mastered. So it had like headroom, to master it. And me and Jin in the band actually mastered it, and we're not mastering engineers, but we basically had to because it sounded so gnarly, so much of it like bad gnarly, that it was like we couldn't send it to mastering engineer and just write all these notes, be like at 3 minutes 32 there's like an extremely loud like whistle sound at 1.7K. Can you notch that out really? Can you notch like a really skinny notch out there? Can you soothe the cymbals at the top in this one section but then open it up? Like there would have been too many. Like I would be embarrassed sending like a giant list of notes that specific to a mastering engineer. Like that's not really their job to do that. So we kind of just had to do it, and it came out all right. I think I'm sure there's probably issues with the low end and stuff. Like that's the bit that's really hard, I think, when you master stuff, is getting the low end right. But it basically had to be us, and yeah, it came out all right. Trying to make all of those early recordings, which were all done in really different ways. Like some to the digital 8-track, the Boss 8-track. Some were done to Pro Tools at a friend's studio, like really hi-fi, and trying to make them all like mixed together on a compilation and like sit evenly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came out all right. I love the artwork with the duck. Like,
That's really good.
yeah.
Very Pond.
That was a real duck. That was a real photo shoot with 2 real ducks.
Oh, dang.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
And a real mango, and they kept shitting everywhere. And so as the shoot went on, we've got like more and more photos of just kind of like duck smearing mango and shit everywhere. The one we chose in the end was like a fairly clean one early on in the process.
Maybe those other pictures could be for like the 20th anniversary of the
I don't know if any made the booklets. The mango, the one on the back's great too. It's the duck standing on the mango, the perforated mango, whatever.
Yeah.
But, it came out good. I'm glad we did. People ask why we didn't do all the records like in full. We just wanted to choose our favorite songs. There's like some of that stuff that we just it's not even that we don't like, it's just we're just like that just doesn't need to exist. If you really want to find it, you can go into the depths of YouTube or something, But we still wanted to, even though we still wanted to present the early years in like a light that we were sort of proud of, and not be like, oof, I don't want to hear that song ever again.
I like how you mentioned like, oh, the high end of this, the low end of that. Like those are things that like, as an artist that you really hear, and like the fans don't really hear that much of that, if that makes sense. Like, because as fans, we just hear whatever you put out and we're like, oh, we fucking love this.
Yeah.
So,
I think I used to think that it didn't matter as much as it does. I mean, it doesn't matter really because it's subjective and it's
Yeah.
just audio. It's not the songwriting, but still, like the way that things sound specifically can really change the way that the feeling comes across. You know.
Hmm.
So even if the listener knows nothing about music or audio or anything, they you know they'll feel it in a different way.
Hmm.
Yeah,
If it's
that's
really bright and punchy, or if it's really smooshy and rolled off sounding, or like it has a different uh, it has a different mood to it.
yeah.
Just the audio, you know. So yeah,
Hmm.
I think emotion is a big part of it, like how listeners feel when listening to something. Because
yeah,
I could say
totally.
from personal experience, when I first heard The Underdog, your album, I cried.
Oh yeah.
Um, like on
Oh,
first listen, like I was like, and
oh,
I don't know
thank
what it
you.
was. It was just such a powerful sound, and I was like, I just got
Oh,
emotional. It
thanks.
was really good. That's
Oh, I appreciate
one of
that.
my
Yeah, I get
favorites from you.
emotional. Thank you. I get emotional from music all the time, just from yeah, from for whatever weird reason. Um,
It's a powerful
but yeah,
thing.
but sorry, but from stuff that's not necessarily like an emotional lyric, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
It would just
exactly.
be like the way that something like feels, you know, or sounds. But yeah, no, that's great. That's a great thing to like have and hold on to, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess that kind of leads into like I have a question for you as well. So whenever you're writing songs and like you're coming up with demos, like how intricate do you get with your demos? Like if you're writing a song, do you come up with like a pretty finished product and then take it to the studio, or does it just kind of mesh from an idea and then you take that to the studio, or how's that process kind of
Mm.
go for you?
It's changed over the years a little bit. I think that the demos just used to be the finished recording, you know, because you would sort of start something and then slowly work on it,
Yeah.
often on like Ableton,
Yeah.
um, where you know you're slowly just replacing bits with better bits or leaving bits from the demo, and that was sort of the sound of my and our records. And then the last couple of years, I've been more and more interested in the like recording itself, not like the way it sounds, but the way it was played or performed. You know,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was recorded live or whether it was recorded like the whole take. All like this album, a lot of it is the whole take all the way through without me chopping it up and copy and pasting and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten really into like not doing that, especially if it's kind of like if you're trying to suggest that it's organic music or say like rock music, um, say like the new Pond song, um, it seems counterintuitive and like even a bit just not quite right to record a little bit and then copy and paste it, or you know,
Yeah.
copy the verse where the chorus is and all that sort of stuff. I sort of used to do that out of laziness, or not even that, but you'd be like, well, this chorus is clearly better, so let's put the bass from that one in the second one.
Yeah.
But I've really gone off that the last few years, and I'll leave mistakes in, and I'll one section will just be tighter than the other section, but I'm like, well, that's it, that's what you played, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess treating the DAW more like a tape machine. I forgot what the original question. Oh, demos. So now I try and I deliberately do really shitty demos. Like I record them really quick and sloppy, and
Uh-huh.
through like maybe quite a lo-fi tape machine or something, in like an hour, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I know that every now and then I'll get attached to the demo, but just so I know that like I can do a better version of it, kind of like objectively better version,
Yeah.
um, and I don't get attached to it. So all the new Pond stuff was like that. The demos were like deliberately really, really shitty. Sometimes the demo now will just be my iPhone notes. Say this record, all the like demos were me just slowly workshopping on the keyboard or piano, and as I would make changes or work on things, I would just record another like voice memo.
Yeah.
And I really tried with this one to workshop the songwriting like before I started recording it. Because it makes it sound different when you've got a plan and then you start recording to when you just start recording without a plan, which is also really cool. And I've done heaps of music that way. But when you start recording without a plan and then you're like molding it from stems you've already recorded, it's just a different sound. It's just a different different process. It generates like a different feeling in the finished thing. But yeah, I would say now the last Pond and the last Gum one, deliberately crappy demos for the sake of doing it again, but with focus and not with not getting attached to them.
Yeah. When you're writing either with Pond or with Gum and you're writing a new album, do you write demos specifically for that album, or do you just have a stockpile of demos that you're like, okay, this is enough to start writing an album?
I think these days specifically because I will, with this Gum record and like with the new Pond and stuff, we tried to have each one has a specific like feel and like type of songwriting on it. And we wanted it to have like a consistent mood. Like the new Pond one is like, it's like 10 songs of not the same song, but the same feeling and energy. Which we haven't done in the past. We've gone in with an aim to be have a consistent mood throughout, and we've like failed almost every time. You know, sometimes for the better, but we've gone off on tangents. And if someone's brought in something that's good, like then we'd use it, even if it wasn't the vibe we were after. Because if it's good, it's good. Whereas this time, people would bring in things that are good. Same with my Gum one there, and if it didn't fit the overall sort of narrative, we just wouldn't use it, you know, which is a kind of a first for us, and I'm really enjoying it. I really like. I think the way that you can listen to music now and just listen to every bit of music ever, and randomly scroll through, you know, different types of music or genres or whatever it will. Means that when I put on an album, say I'm cooking, say like you did this morning, or I'm cleaning or cooking or whatever, I kind of want it to all feel the same for that 40 minutes or however long it is. Because my day-to-day listening in my car or, you know, on headphones or whatever is randomly jumping around in mood and style, you know. Like the nature of streaming has made me want to make records that are more like consistent in feel. Whereas when I was younger, I loved stuff that was, I loved trying to make albums that were like I loved Beck, you know, and Ween and all these things where it was like every song on the album was like completely different, you know? And so that's what we tried to do for a long time in Pond. Like that was the fun of it. Was being like, oh, how crazy is it that it went from this song to this song, you know?
That's what I love about like Pond's versatility, if that makes sense. Because one of my favorite Pond albums is Man, It Feels Like Space Again. And that's where you know, each song is like kind of different from song to song. So
totally.
And I love that nowadays, like, whereas back in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, it felt like each album had like its own concept. Nowadays, and that we're in the 2020s, you know, you can have more variety with that. If you want to make an album that's more cohesive and more like conceptual, you can do that. If you want to have an album that's more fun, you can do that too, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Sure, yeah, totally, yeah. It's whether you want to treat it like a mixtape or like a or like one long song or one long mood.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah, I'd say this record of mine, it's kind of like one long song in a way, you know, that moves through. Was kind of the aim of it.
That's what I felt like when I heard it this morning. It felt like a long breakfast, and it was really cool.
Long, slow breakfast.
Yeah, my son loved the eggs and the raspberries, by the way. So,
nice. Oh, that's a healthy breakfast.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
healthy breakfast, healthy music.
You're doing well.
Yeah.
You kind of touched on it about Pond's upcoming stuff. I have here written in the notes, I have terrestrials, and then next to it I just wrote banger. Because it was so good.
Yeah,
What
thanks.
more, if any, can you tell us about the upcoming Pawn project?
Um, they're all bangers. That was one of the rules. One of the
Nice.
rules was no ballads. Um, so yeah, they're all like we had a series of rules. I can tell you them. There was they're all. When's this coming out, by the way?
This will come out. It'll be out this Friday, hopefully.
Ah, okay. Or maybe it's too early to tell you all the rules. But anyway, they're they're yeah, they're all like similar in vibe and spirit. They were all recorded live, at least partially.
Hmm.
Some with the full band, like 5 or 6 of us. Some with just a couple of us, and then overdubbed.
Hmm.
Um, all to tape, or all at least started on tape, which we haven't done since that Space Again album.
Nice.
Um, and yeah, I think if you like that, you'll like the other 9 or so of them.
Awesome.
Nice.
Um,
Can't wait.
and if you don't, good luck. I hope you can find something you really like. But the good thing about Pond is that if you don't, you'll probably like the next one. You know.
I love all of
And
your
if you don't
stuff.
like that, well, there's another. There's 10 before or whatever. So
Yeah, that's what I love about Pond.
Yeah, I think with
Yeah.
Pond, you can tell that Pond have devout fans because we did want all of those earlier tracks that you guys didn't put on earlier.
Oh,
We
sure,
would have
yeah,
taken
yeah. I
anything. Yeah.
know, I know, I know. Yeah, it's hard. I think um, it's really hard. Like, say the last Pond record, Stung, which I really love, and there's some
Yeah.
great songs on it. But I couldn't shake this feeling after that one that it wasn't um, different enough for us, you know. And
Mhm.
it's that one's almost like if we made a best of Pond or something from scratch. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's like double album. We not let we anyone's ideas that were good we used. We didn't like try and curate the mood of it. It was just like if it was good, we used it.
Yeah.
But I'm really stoked with this new one because I feel like we attempted a type of music, which I guess I don't know what you would call sort of prog punk or something.
Oh man, that sounds great.
We attempted something like a feeling across a whole record that we hadn't done before, and we recorded it in a way that we hadn't really done before, or hadn't done in like over 10 years. And so it gives you this, it's like, it almost becomes when you do records, it's less about how much your feeling on it is less about how well it goes, how successful it is, or how much people like it, or how many people stream it, or whatever. It's more like, well, it used to be like, did I do the best job that I could, or that we could? And now I'm sort of like, well, you're always doing the best job that you can. Like, you never phone it in. So now it's like, did we push ourselves hard enough, to do something different? And that weirdly becomes the feeling that you're most satisfied with, because if you didn't push yourself to do something different enough, then yeah, it's almost like you're just trying to remake something you've already done, I guess. Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Which can be cool too, but doesn't quite give you the same sort of perverse satisfaction of being like, here you go, like, bet you weren't expecting that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
I,
is
that,
kind of a fun feeling as like an artist, I think.
yeah, I was gonna say that must be a great creative freedom knowing that you guys as a band aren't like stuck on one specific like sound.
Yeah, I think if you're a fan of the band, you would know that even if you weren't into the current iteration of it or whatever, that it's best for the band. Like the band's still going. It's been going for it's like 18 years now or
Yeah.
something since we did those first record, which is nuts. And the reason it is because we haven't like gotten sick of it,
Yeah.
And the reason we haven't gotten sick of it is because we get excited about the what we're going to attempt next. And like between the 5 people in the band, there's just so much different taste, and we never do stuff that not all the members are into. We always make sure that everyone's on the same page and into it. But it's like there's a lot of ground to cover across everyone's tastes, and yeah.
So that kind of you said, and it's been true. Pond and stuff has been around for about 18, maybe 20 years or so.
Which is nuts to even say that. 2008, I think, first that main.
Yeah, so then 18 years, yeah. Do you still see like y'all selves like even like touring for like another 20 years, 18 years, or do you think maybe it'll turn into something that's more of just like studio releases, kind of like what the Beatles did in the late 60s?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm already about 8 years older than the Beatles. I think. Well, maybe not that much. But when did they stop? 27 or 29 or something?
I think it was even younger than that. I think they were like 25 or something.
Yeah. That would be nuts. Yeah, I'm 35. But yeah, it's a funny one. It's kind of like I often do think like, all right, it gets about time soon we start making, more mature music. But I think we have at times. It's this upcoming album was almost like, hey, before we start making more mature music, like we should make a real, like, rip snorting rock album.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was partly after some of the stuff on the last one. We were like, what are we doing slowing down? Like we're not, not that unk. Like we could still, we've still got Nick out the front, going bananas,
yeah.
and we're still like really excited to go out there and just like play really sort of loud and hectically.
Was it Nick that stepped on Justin at that concert?
Yeah. We saw you guys in Austin. You guys played at the Mohawk. This was,
2018, 2019?
And man, you guys were electric. Yeah, my friend
That's
Justin,
the outside one. That's the outside one, hey? Where you can watch from like up the top.
Yeah.
We were right in
opposite
front.
Stubbs. Yeah.
No, it was Mohawk.
No, it's opposite Stubbs. Is that the one?
Same yeah. It's right across the street from Stubbs. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Mohawk. It's sick.
It's great.
It's a good one. But we were up close and personal, and Nick even like borrowed my friend's head to balance as he was singing in the crowd.
Yeah.
He like stepped on him too, and he's like, "Oh, Nick Ulbrich stepped on me," and we're like, "Yeah."
He sort of stands on people, but until you've had him stand on you, you don't know how like he's so light. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like a sort of dragon. It's like a kind of dragonfly like walking on you. Like it doesn't. I'm not sure that it hurts. I've never heard of anyone complaining that it hurt too bad. I might be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't think he said that it hurt. I think he was like, "Yeah, he stepped on me, but I didn't feel it."
I think it's sort of like holding up this like cup or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. We can move on to another different segment of our show. When we announce ahead of time that we're going to be speaking with you, and we have a lot of listener submitted questions.
Oh, listeners' questions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
So this kind of, you did a recent AMA this past week, last week?
Yeah, last week I think.
So we kind of filtered out some different ones for you.
Cool.
So this
like ones I hadn't already answered. So.
Yeah.
So one of the ones here would be from 6 Pound Bag of Weed. They ask.
Oh, that's the username.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
They ask, please ask Jay if he has any tips for spicing up direct input guitar.
Oh, not really. I mean, it's hard. People do it heaps, but I find it really hard to make sound good. Like if it's clean, especially. If you've got like if it's like a fuzz pedal or something, then it usually just sounds great because it just sounds like the pedal straight into your brain. But clean guitar is really hard DI, I reckon, to get a good sound. I did see this thing on Instagram a while back about like if you're going straight into like an effect, like a bit of rack gear or whatever, or DI, to run it through like a any kind of just like pedal, even if it's not on, like a Boss tuner or something for the like it reduces like I record DI into this chorus echo thing I've got. And then when I tried that and went straight into this Boss whatever pedal off, the like noise floor was much better. It's like some impedance thing. So I didn't really understand that, but that helped. I don't know. I don't know. I don't, man. It's trial and error. A lot. Some of the sounds that I record, I like barely touch, if at all, once I've recorded them, and then others is like heaps of processing after, really aggressive EQ. If I've recorded like a DI fuzz guitar or something, like I've completely mold the timbre of it with EQ after, and it won't sound anything like it did when I first recorded it.
Fuzz guitar is definitely one of the most fun instruments to play. And that goes into the next question here. This is from Farther Left Than You. They are asking, what is your favorite instrument to play live? And what is your favorite instrument to just noodle around on in the studio or even just at home?
Probably guitar is pretty fun live, I'd say. I think that guitar is fun because it's very like kind of visceral and like like loud and visceral, but you're not in charge of like holding it down very often. And holding it down, whether it's like you're playing bass or drums or something, is sometimes not that fun, like you're really concentrating, trying to be tight rather than just sort of switching your brain off. Guitar, I find that the more I switch my brain off and just sort of go, I can't think of another word other than visceral, but like go pure sort of artistic with it, the cooler stuff you do, feedback, or like you might not even come in on time, or the pedals are all wrong, or I don't know, but all that stuff is like kind of exciting rather than show ruining. Whereas like you're waiting to come in on the drums and you're like just coming in a bit late on the drums doesn't usually sound very good to anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the freedom of guitar.
Yeah.
That if I just sort of got feedback for the whole gig, it could be really amazing,
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because I was just watching the Triple J prototype Tame Impala cover the other day.
Oh yeah.
And you were playing bass on that. And
That was the first time I ever played bass, like for a thing.
Oh, really?
Like for a TV or a show or like live or anything properly. Yeah. I practiced heaps. I remember. Oh yeah.
You just explaining what you did, like your little fills that you did, like on the high end of the bass, like that really comes through. Like, you held it down, but you still wanted to have fun. So like, I could see that. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm still a show off, but yeah, I remember concentrating. I remember concentrating really hard for that, to like keep it solid and like But yeah, guitar's fun. Drums, if you've been on tour for a while and you have all your stuff down, is really fun. Just having that much sort of physical power to play with is fun.
Are you staying on bass with Pond live? Because I know you were on drums, and then now you're
lately.
on bass.
Lately, I've been doing half guitar, half drums, and I swap with Jin, the drummer.
Oh, okay.
And so it'd be half guitar, half drums, which is pretty perfect, really. You get a little bit of everything. You get a little bit of everything, yeah. I got to say, keyboard's probably the least exciting, just because you're, you've sort of got to hold it down, but also, it's not very malleable. It's like you can't move it in a way that makes it feedback or like it's not very physical in a way. You do get a lot of fun. The fun bit of playing keyboard live is you get to do fun sort of harmonic. You get some harmonic control. You can shift the chords slightly with inversions or whatever and make the whole thing feel different. It's like harmonically fun, but it's not necessarily like viscerally very fun. Physically fun, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
This next question is from Max, not Charles. They ask, I'm curious what some of your favorite electronic artists are.
I mean, it depends what sort of stuff. I love Boards of Canada. I was big into Black Moth, Super Rainbow, and Tobacco for a while.
Tobacco.
I really like um, heaps of dancier stuff, like all the classic stuff, Daft Punk and Chemical Brothers, and um, I like that Avalanches album, the like sampley one. Probably my favorite electronic album of all time is it's called AAL Against All Logic, Nicholas Jar album. Don't know if you've heard that.
I have to write it down.
Against All Logic, it's amazing. It's like I think it's built on samples, but yeah,
Nice.
I like a lot of the Caribou and Daphne stuff. Yeah, I'm not in a very like electronic phase at the moment, but I think it's coming again. Oh, my son likes the Prodigy, so we've been listening to Prodigy a bit in the car.
Nice.
Fat of the Land. Yeah.
This next question here, this is from Crumbling Palace. Times is an incredible album. Any plans for more Gumbros music? And how about a Gumbros US tour?
Hopefully one day. Yeah. We've got some music cooking, but yeah, no plans for a tour. There's just no time with everyone else's bands. But one day we'll get there, and then hopefully we'll have like a couple of records worth of music to play live.
Nice.
And it'll make it more worthwhile, rather than just doing like a 40-minute set.
Next question is 99% Studios. They ask, what gets you in the zone for writing a track or inspires you to write one?
Man, I'm always excited to like work on and write music. I don't have enough time. I think that it's either I'm just gonna get a banana. Sorry, I haven't eaten, getting all woozy.
Yeah.
2 seconds. Really old banana though. So. I actually don't like them when they're too sweet. I like a slightly unripe one.
Classic.
I'll either have a clear idea in mind, and like go for it from the start with that idea. But a lot of the stuff I write is just like sitting around like noodling, For example, I spend a large amount of time in my house just doing this on the front veranda, or it's pretty out of tune. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of my ideas are actually like a surprising amount from me putting my fingers on like a guitar or piano without looking and randomly pressing stuff. And like the first little thing before I know what I'm doing is like ends up becoming the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where like a bunch of my songs start with kind of quite an odd like chord or inversion or like picking thing where it's kind of dissonant and weird because I've just mashed some. It's out of tune, but you know what I mean. And then from there I'll do more like conventional chord changes, but it's because I've accidentally mashed those chords. There's a few Gum songs that start with this chord because one day I accidentally mashed it and was like, that's pretty cool. And then I used it for like a few after that, but it's like this. What was it?
Oh.
But also interesting,
Yeah, we couldn't really hear those. I think the camera was.
Oh, sorry.
No,
it was.
We can blame Zoom. So
it was a D flat major over an F sharp. So what's that? It's like a sus 4 chord, but the bass is the 4. So it's kind of dissonant and weird. But anyway, I use that, but it's like accidental stuff.
It's cool that you mentioned that because like sometimes like whenever I'm watching my son in the morning before Grandpa picks him up, like I'll bust out like my old Yamaha like 80s synthesizer or like just some shitty
like
beginners. Yeah. He loves the demo button, by the way. He loves that thing.
Yeah.
He'll
when
seek it out.
And he goes like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I try to get him to play the keys, like he'll he'll play like chords. I'm like, ooh, that sounds cool. Like, what are you doing, Oliver? And
Yeah,
he's,
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I'm like, maybe I can use that for a song. So
Man, yeah, you got to tap into that. You got to tap into that part of your brain a bit. I think it's music theory is like really really useful, obviously, and you need a certain amount of it. But it's also it can also stop you doing kind of interesting things
yeah.
if you're always, you know, if you're always like, well, and then I'll go to the fifth before going back to the next section or something, you know.
Whenever we were in band, like I'm not sure if you felt like this too, but I felt like that kind of stopped us from being more creative in like high
Yeah,
school band.
yeah,
And because you did music lessons.
we
Yeah,
were in band,
like
and
Yeah. Oh,
marching
okay.
band and concert band.
we had
Oh
that
yeah.
we had that mindset that was like, no, this wouldn't work if we did it like this.
I was in school band. So was I played timpani and crash cymbal and things
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were all percussion. We were all
Yeah, yeah,
drummers.
yeah.
So.
We had this
Yeah.
old percussion teacher where we would be like, "Hey, Mr. Lester, what if we do this?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, no." So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so we had that mindset.
Totally, yeah. Well, Pond is a great mix of people who did school band and theory at school and even at college and stuff, and people who you know, learned guitar with tabs or listening to records or whatever,
yeah,
and 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 have a limited like higher theory.
Yeah,
Um, and it's a great mix of like people that haven't have taught me so much about um, like you know, going to another section of a song. It can be completely unrelated harmonically or rhythmically, or you know what I mean, because like that's just how their brain would work. And so, but so many of the things that we love are like that, you know. It's like you can't make a song, you can't write a song in the style of Sid Barrett or something if you're worrying about that too much, you know. It's not gonna, you're not gonna be able to.
yeah. So there's a an interview with John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he's talking about Anthony Kiedis, and he's saying he's like, yeah, Anthony. I think he just basically like straight up says like Anthony doesn't know anything about music, but
Yeah.
when they're writing a song, it's interesting seeing him come up with notes and stuff because John is like, oh, I wouldn't have thought, oh, this is the note that we should sing there. There we go. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
work with this for a little bit.
No, no worries.
There we go.
We have lots of those discussions where it's like someone sung or played a, you know, a major third when it's the chord has a minor third in it or something,
Mhm.
and it's dissonant. And there's lots of discussions about whether like we should fix it because it's quote unquote wrong,
Mhm.
or whether the wrongness is the appealing part about it, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like you can argue for both sides pretty
Yeah, for
well. So
sure.
yeah,
I think it's a good balance when people like that work together because it creates things
totally,
you never
yeah.
would have thought. Yeah.
Well, and we've got so much like the people in the band have made so much great solo music on their own,
Hmm.
but it still doesn't sound like when the band comes together. You know, we've got so much empirical evidence of it being more interesting when we like, you know, when the powers combine,
Yeah.
Captain Planet style. So yeah. So we sort of we let a lot of that stuff ride, you know.
Hmm.
If it moves you or it's entertaining you or whatever,
Hmm.
or it gives you a certain feeling, then yeah, let it fly.
Yeah.
Dissonance and all.
We'll make this the last one, just because a lot
Yes.
of people asked different versions of this question, including our friend Justin and
Oh
this
yeah.
Reddit user Ralph Cham. They
Yeah.
asked, "Hey Jay,
Jenny.
do you have any tips for recording drums to make them sound like that? Mine, for some reason, sound like a boxy cardboard mess as soon as I start to mix things." So there's that question, but I think just recording because you do have a signature sound, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
So how do you go about achieving that?
Well, I hadn't recorded drums for my own stuff until the last like 5 years or so. I just lived in a flat apartments or flats or whatever that I didn't have drum kits.
Mm,
And so I'd use drum samples or drum machines and so it's kind of a relatively new thing in my like 30s of like getting good at recording drums. Um, I will say that I sort of learned a little bit from Kevin, who's one of the best like drum engineers
Who's
in the
that?
world. I
I'm just
think.
kidding.
Yeah, but he's very good at it, and he also has very distinct sound and
Hmm.
techniques.
Yeah.
But the big thing that I think I've learned off anyone I know that records drums and records them well and they sound good is um, if they sound good, like in the room. I know it's a cliche, but like so often I've like tried to sort of tune a rack tom or like a, you know, get a snare drum sounding good or something, and it sounds kind of okay to shit. And I'll be like, I'll just record it. I'll just record it, and then I'll like fix it with EQ or whatever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's just it's like you can't polish a turd with drums.
Yeah.
You can fix a few, you can put a few band-aids on it, but at the end of the day, it's still like a turd with band-aids. You have to, as you're playing it or recording someone, you have to be like, oh, they sound pretty good,
Hmm.
Yeah.
basically. And if they don't, I mean, there's things you can use now. There's all those TuneBot things, which I don't use, but apparently work really well for toms. And um, but as you're playing it and your head's over it, you should be feeling pretty good about the, like it should almost sound mixed in a way, like acoustically.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then because then from then, if the drums sound awesome, if you just stuck those two mics you guys are talking in, pointing near the drums, if the drums sound awesome and the player's good, like it'll sound good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With your podcast mic.
Hmm.
Some of the best drums of all time were like one or two microphones. Um, but then from there, it's just like how much of each thing do you want to deal with? Cymbals often ruin your rack tom overheads or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but that's just how it goes. I stopped recording cymbals live for a while, and I would overdub them. But now I think that's the coward's way out. Now I'm like, you've got that's part of dealing with the mix. Is
Yeah.
dealing with crash cymbals in your rack tom or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think that's the big thing. It's like yeah, before you even press record, you want to be like, ooh, they sound pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. I think the best thing, like at least drum wise, that we've recorded was that jam we had in your garage.
Oh yeah,
And then
yeah.
Justin just set like one microphone for the whole drum set and maybe like a kick drum.
Yeah, it was a kick drum mic and then an overhead, and they sounded great. Like that was
Ah,
the
yeah,
best we had
Yeah, it was
ever
the
yeah,
done.
best thing ever.
yeah, yeah. I also think if the room you're recording them in is really good, then that's fine. But if it's not a very nice sounding room, like it's my kitchen I'm in now, or it's your room you guys are doing your thing in, um, and by not nice, I just mean like not a proper acoustically
Yeah.
treated studio,
Yeah.
like just a room in a house, which most people are in now. Like my studio is just my shed.
Hmm.
Um, you're better off making it hyper dead and then adding ambience with reverbs or
Yeah.
or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I bet what that person thinks sounds crap and boxy is what it sounds like. It's the vibe.
Hmm.
That first Strokes album sounds pretty boxy to me, like, but it sounds awesome. But that's about as boxy as drums and vocals and stuff get.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. We're gonna move on to one more thing. It's kind of new. You'll be the first guest that we do this with.
All right,
Um,
all right.
and you can choose to answer rapid fire, or if you want to expand upon an answer, you can. It's
Okay.
just a quick game of this or that. So we'll ask you two things, and you decide between the two. So if Wesley, you want to go ahead
All
and
right.
start with them.
So the first one is going to be digital or analog.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if you've got the ears and the skills.
There you go. There you go. You kind of touched on this one, but this is a different circumstance. It is piano or guitar, but when for your writing.
Yeah, doesn't matter. No. Guitar, because I'm less. I didn't have lessons on guitar, so it still feels like new, and I don't know what I'm doing on it.
Mhm.
Nice, nice, nice. Next one is would you rather travel to the past or to the future?
Ooh, both aren't ideal. Maybe the past, but not very far in the past,
Hmm.
like 1995. You know,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice.
Good use.
that seems kind of that was like that's a good middle ground. You know.
This next one, this is a little personal now.
Mhm.
The underdog or glamorous damage?
The underdog for the like songwriting and the earnestness, but glamorous damage for the like vision of the sound of it. Like was quite consistent. Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon or Animals?
Um, man, I'm not actually that big a Pink Floyd fan. It's very
Interesting.
controversial.
Interesting.
Um, I guess Dark Side of the Moon. Um, but yeah, I'm not. I'm. Oh man, it's very controversial. Maybe even to your listeners.
This is where people are going to start
I'm
clicking
not
off.
mad at them. I'm not mad at them. I'm strangely ambivalent to a lot of Pink Floyd,
Mm.
is what I'll say. A lot of Dark Side of the Moon and that era of Pink Floyd, it reminds me of kind of Neil Young, like the songwriting, like Breathe and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like it's like Neil Young with phases or something, or like you
Oh,
know,
I really like that.
Well, yeah, they took a lot from
like
Sid Barrett, so
Yeah, yeah.
Breathe is a real yeah. I'd say I like the earlier stuff more, but that's it's almost like a different band, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
well,
like
I
a
mean, yeah.
Joe Ryan's a big Pink Floyd fan. He
Uh,
You
loves
might have to get him on
we'll
again.
have to get him
So
on again. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
he always listens to that. He always would play Animals in that song in our share house.
Yeah,
Pig,
yeah.
man, and like
It's a
walk
great
around the
song.
house. Yeah, it's a good song. Yeah.
So we'll put
No,
you
yeah,
down for Animals.
I'm not mad at the Floyd, but I'm not like I would be a big. I'm like a bigger AC/DC fan. You know,
Yeah.
for example, if we're
Mm,
going to go from the same like era.
mm.
But yeah.
Cool. This next one, play live or write in the studio?
Playing live.
Hmm.
It's pretty fun. Like you're pretty lucky to play in front of people that coming to see you, and you know get to rip
Mm,
music live loudly. It's a real pleasure. I think like a real what do you call it? Privilege.
mm.
Yeah, it's definitely a different feeling. I remember when we would play live, like it felt a lot different than playing in the studio.
Mm.
So yeah,
Oh yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. I like the sort of like cockiness that is part of it
Yeah.
because I don't really have that in my regular life, but you get to you almost have to be a bit um full of yourself to do it. And I like having that feeling, you know, a
Mm.
couple times a week on tour or whatever.
Yeah, I remember we played one of our shows, and I was like, I don't know the scale, but I'm gonna play it, and it
Yeah.
sounded pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and
it's kind of like socially acceptable, like showing off, you know.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Fun.
part of performance. So,
Yeah.
and then this is going to be the final this or that question. Pretty big question for both me and Corey. John or Paul of the Beatles?
Oh, John, I think was
Yes, yes, yes.
probably more, probably more like original in his like in his way of songwriting.
Hmm.
But Paul McCartney's probably made like more awesome music. I love Paul McCartney's songwriting. I love heaps of it. If you had Paul McCartney's if you had Paul McCartney's work ethic, if you had Paul McCartney's work ethic and like melodic talent and organizational skills, but with John Lennon's sort of uh, outlook on life and like wit,
Mm.
it would be. I guess that's the Beatles, but it
Yeah,
would
Yeah.
be
that's
that.
the Beatles. So,
Yeah, I think John Lennon was unique in the same sort of way that like Larry, he's kind of like Larry David or whatever, you know,
Mm.
of pop
Yeah.
music.
Nice.
He's kind of cynical and funny and like and serious, but in a funny way,
Mm.
which is quite hard to do, I think. Yeah.
Um, you're the first person that said John, by the
yeah,
way.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul McCartney's great. He's a great songwriter. Obviously, I
and
just
ripping.
like the. It's like John Lennon's quite a unique. It's kind of unique, like voice and accent, and like quite a unique kind of negativity
Yeah.
in pop in
He's a
pop
lot more
song pop
he's a lot
songwriting
more
for the.
introspective for sure. And that's what
It always
I
reminded me.
yeah.
I totally always got why Kurt Cobain was like so influenced by him and the Beatles. It always reminded me of like Nirvana before Nirvana. That's that type of attitude in like pop songwriting.
Well, the final thing to close out the show is we've been asking our guests to, if you could recommend one book, one movie, and one album to our listeners.
Yeah, I'm shocking with books. I read so much in school, like primary school and high school. I did school in a library, like I did distance education in the school library to this other school,
Hmm.
and just slowly read like all the novels and stuff in the library. And then basically since I got really into music, haven't like stopped reading.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Makes
It's
sense.
terrible. So for book, I'll have to say I Am Ozzy, the Ozzy Osbourne
Mm.
autobiography is really funny. What was the other thing? Movie.
Yep.
I really liked that last Mad Max movie. What was that called?
Furiosa? Was it
Furiosa?
the,
Yeah.
because there
Fury
was
Road or
Fury
Furiosa. They're
Road?
both good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both of the new Mad Maxes. They're often on the plane when I fly to tour.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nice.
that's a pretty good plane one.
And
And
then,
album, what if I let me have a look on the streaming.
nice.
Oh man. Oh, I was listening to this guy, Blind Willie Johnson. He like I think he's from like the 40s. It was blues music, but it's really almost every song is super kind of like spiritual sounding, and I guess it's kind of like gospel blues.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, but just beautiful, and it's not you know, it's not like good time blues. It's kind of like this spiritual, like depressing but a beautiful blues music.
Like true
Um,
blues.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know if it gets much truer, but yeah. One of his songs was on that record they pressed and sent out into space.
Oh,
Oh,
dang.
cool.
The,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
gold
yeah.
record or whatever it is.
yeah, because it's like if the aliens find it, like this is some human culture.
Yeah.
Um,
I think sitting up on a crane was also put on that one too. So
Bit of,
oh,
yeah.
I'll take it.
Well, we'll close off on that. Thank you so much, Jay, for taking the time out of your day
No
to talk
worries.
with
Thank you
us.
guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great. I hope to see you in Pond and Austin, hopefully this year sometime, maybe.
Yeah, hit us up. We'll get your tickets.
Oh,
nice.
cool.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Awesome.
Have a beer.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. On us. On us.
Yep, of
Ah,
course.
sick. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Have a good rest of
You
your
too.
day and take care.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.